back. Hi. I hope y'all are doing well. How are we feeling so far? Are we feeling juicy? We are on a roll. We have so many delicious sessions already, and we're about to get into even more juicy stuff. Um, we're gonna wait for one of our community members to arrive to the screen, but for the time being, how are we feeling so far? Midway. Okay, we're feeling good. We're feeling good. So, I have a few folks here on stage with me. So, I want to ask each of you to unmute yourself. I know we're improving here a little. Unmute yourself and tell me where you are calling from and what school you are at. So, let's just, Emanuela, can you go first?
Okay, hi. I'm calling from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I go to Philander Smith University.
Okay, work. All right, Rahik.
Yep, Rahik. I am calling from Boston, Massachusetts, and I go to school at Boston University.
Okay, work. BU. Latanya.
I am calling from Hyattsville, Maryland, and I go to Howard University in DC.
Okay, come on now. And she's also going to a Sexy Red concert today. I was like, listen, we're very excited for you. With that being said, I'm gonna pass it over to Nyasha Francis, who is part of the ColorStack team. Take it away for our ColorStack student panel.
Hi, everyone. I am so glad to be here, y'all. First of all, I love seeing everyone's faces and just vibing with y'all. But also, we have not had a student panel in a few months. So I'm glad we could get back to basics. I'm so glad that we have the opportunity to learn from ColorStack members and just share out, because I think that's what really is the secret sauce of our community. It's like people who look like us helping out people who look like us. So yeah. With that being said, I will get right into the panel. So it's currently recruitment season, as we all know. And as someone who's been there, I get how tough it can be. I do have my degree in computer science, if y'all did not know. And those technical interviews used to kick my ass. Sorry, I had to pull that one out. But yeah. So if you've already secured the bag and you have internship offers and all that, congratulations. That's so major. But if you don't, that is okay, y'all. You still have time. We about to get into a little holiday break. You'll be at the end of your semesters. You have so much time for interview prep and all that. So with that being said, we have 3 members who already have, some offers. Yeah, already signed a few offers, and they will be sharing their experience. So without further ado, I will introduce them. I know they already briefly mentioned their names and where they go, but yeah, I will get started. So first off, we have Latanya Kissy Buniwa. She studies computer science at the illustrious Howard University, and she's originally from Tucson, Arizona. When she's not coding, she enjoys hiking and reading romance novels, period. Me too. She's happy to have the opportunity to grow her network through organizations like ColorStack, and she's super happy to be here speaking with y'all. Next off, we have Rahik Ibrahim. She is a third-year student studying computer science at Boston University. She's originally from Jersey City, New Jersey, and her family immigrated from Sudan. Outside the classroom, she is a co-founder of a nonprofit based in her hometown named Seeds JC, is vice president of her NISBE chapter, and manages the D1 BU track and field team. Period. I also managed a team when I was in college. Oh my God, that is so cool. This past summer, she interned at Bloomberg LP in New York City as a software engineer intern and will be returning there this summer. Last but not least, we have Emanuela Imam Umaran, and she's a Nigerian-bred sophomore at Philander Smith University studying computer science. Some of her hobbies include cooking, dancing, and singing. She interned at Meta last summer and has since then obtained a return offer as well as another offer at ServiceNow as a software engineer intern. She aspires to be a software engineer. Period. Let's all give it up for our panelists. Y'all have such amazing intros, and I'm so excited to dive deep into this panel. So I know I already mentioned where you guys will be working this summer, but I would love to hear it from your own words. So just let me know real quick, where y'all will be working. If you can share like the team you'll be on, that'll be cool. And also, if you had any other offers, share that too. I love to hear y'all hype yourselves up. So let's go. We can start off with Rahik.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be interning again at Bloomberg LP in New York City. Last summer I was interning there and I really liked it. I was in the sell side marketing team. Really exposed me to a lot of full stack development, so I'm really excited to come back. Um, and because it's a return offer, I kind of didn't want to do too many technical interviews. I interviewed with a few companies like Roblox and Google, but overall, I just wanted to go back to where I was last summer.
No, that is so real. There is no shame in that. I also played the return game when I was in college, so I definitely feel you.
Yeah.
How about you, Latanya?
So earlier last month, I went to like this Changemaker Summit with Wells Fargo where I did an on-site interview and I got an offer for their software engineering internship. It's going to be based in Charlotte. So that's where I'm going to be this summer. Last summer, it was like a research internship at UC San Diego where I worked with
Nice.
like PhD students and professors and just kind of did like a lot of terminal hacking type stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to do more like the developing side this summer.
Yeah, that is so dope. I love Charlotte, so I hope you have an amazing time there. And last but not least, Emanuela.
Okay, hi. So my name is Emanuela. Last summer I interned at Meta doing Meta University, basically web dev full stack. I was like primarily like on the Instagram team, and I absolutely loved it. But so you know the way Meta is, you have to wait for a head count and stuff like that. So about last week, I actually just got my return offer finalized. But like in October, I also got another software engineering offer from ServiceNow. As of right now, I don't really know where exactly I'm going to because I'm still trying to like um place like my priorities and figure out okay what advantage do I have in this company over this company. And I mean throughout the whole recruiting system I just took it like I did not have an offer and I just kept on like applying and like doing interviews. So now I'm just like trying to make a good decision for my future basically. So yeah, that's where I am at.
Period. Well, we love having options, and I love that for you. I'm sure whichever company you pick, you're gonna do great there. So definitely good luck. Thank you guys so much for sharing. So I have to ask, you guys have all secured offers. Clearly, y'all are doing something right. What does interview prep look like for y'all? And anyone can just go ahead and jump in.
Okay, I'll go. So for me, I just really like to find past interns or someone who's like done that role before, and then I just ask them how they did in their interview, what questions they asked, and then I also like to look up my interviewers because I find that when I ask more personalized questions to the interviewer, they appreciate that more because I took the time to learn about them because they're taking time to learn about me in this interview. So yeah, those are like the main things I like to do. And obviously Leet Code. And I like to watch Neat Code on YouTube because he explains the problems and goes into depth very well.
Nice. I swear, I keep hearing more and more about Nico. When I was in college, that was not a thing. Like, or maybe I was not studying right, but that's so cool. Thank you for sharing. Do either of y'all want to chime in?
Yeah, so I'd agree with that too. Very good like networking prep. I'd say for interviews, I like to really focus on the specific company that I'm interviewing with at that specific time. So me personally, like I'm not going to do leak code all year round. Like this is not for me. But when I know I have an interview coming up in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that's when I really put my head down and I just do the classic leak code all day, every day. And if you get a
Mhm.
leak code premium account, or even like Algo Expert, which I know we'll get into that later, but you could sort the frequency and you could filter the questions that come up by the company that you're interviewing for. So that really helped me. Um, as far as just because companies really are kind of all over the place sometimes. Some of them they ask math-based questions, some ask theory-based questions. So when you're specifying that you want to interview for one specific company, it really helps to just prep for that specific company.
Nice. Emmanuel, did you want to add, or we
Yeah,
can move on? Okay, period. Go ahead.
yeah. I feel like I completely agree with Rahik. For me, I feel like one thing I really came to realize when it comes to like preparing for interviews, like focusing on the particular company. For me, what I actually do is that I just go off Google and search like top questions for the companies. And trust me, you always find them, because one thing for like interview prep is that they're never going to ask you like a new question. They're not going to like form a new question for you. It's always going to be questions that they've probably asked before. And once you search up on Google, you see like a bunch of questions like on Stack Overflow, and then you just practice. And for me, I don't know about other people. People like Lead Code, but for me, I don't use Lead Code. I use Algo Expert because that's my OG. I feel like
Period.
I was first introduced to Algo Expert with ColorStack, but for me, Algo Expert became my OG through Bloomberg, because over the summer I did this Bloomberg HBCU Academy, and I had like a mentor, and they used Algo Expert, and from there I just fell in love with Algo Expert because they really know how to like explain the questions very well. And like being that I was a freshman, I hadn't taken data structures, and for me, taking that data structures crash course on Algo Expert really did the whole thing for me. So yeah.
Yes, I love to hear y'all mention tools that ColorStack have given y'all, because I love to like emphasize to members like y'all, we have so many resources to give y'all and to help y'all out. So definitely take advantage of them. I mean, if you're attending Fam Friday, you're already one step closer to getting that free Algo Expert license. So definitely shout out to Algo Expert. I know, so y'all have already mentioned like Lead Code, Algo Expert. Could y'all identify like, if that is the most important tool, cool. But could you identify the most important tool that's helped you like secure the bag? Like it could be technical, it could be non-technical, it could be anything really.
I would say, I think someone mentioned this earlier, but just knowing the right people could give you something that, Leak Code cannot give you, or Algo Expert they can't give you. So I'd say get that LinkedIn up, start talking to people, especially in ColorStack. Like there's so many members here, you are almost guaranteed to find somebody that's already interned or worked somewhere that you want to. So talk to somebody that already that already works there. They could get you that what's it called, recommendation. They could write you a little something, pass your name around. I feel like that is probably more helpful for me, just because even it might even make your interview a little easier. You never know. So, or you might get a little insight into who your interviewer is and things like that. So just knowing the right people, getting your LinkedIn up, messaging people within the Slack of Color Stackers too could also help.
Yes, absolutely, yo. There's so much power in networking. Not just like networking up with like recruiters and professionals, but networking horizontally, your peers, people in ColorStack, like everyone is so important in your journey and like your career. So definitely take advantage of that. Do y'all have any more to add?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I also like to, what I feel really helps is I copy and paste the job description in ChatGPT, and I'm like, ask me 10 questions based off this. And it kind of makes me more like, I don't stutter as much because they most likely ask a question that ChatGPT asked me. So it's just like getting more familiar with the role and the questions and the interview setting.
I love that piece of advice because it's like, yes, use Chat GPT because I promise you your interviewers are using it too. So yeah, definitely take advantage of tools like Chat GPT. Anything else you want to add, Emanuela?
I think I completely agree with Latanya, because I feel like, I don't know if you guys know, but right now on ChatGPT you can do like web scraping and go through the internet for you. So you can actually just search and be like, go through the internet and find like popular questions from this particular company, and trust me, it will do that for you. So yeah.
Period. Okay, so you guys all managed to, get jobs this season. Congrats again. But I know that like with current job markets was looking a little shaky, tech companies doing layoffs and like some saying that they're not hiring interns. Did all of that like shape the way that you prepped for your interviews, or even like the way you communicated with your recruiter?
I think, yeah, that definitely shaped it for me, because so I feel like one thing that really helps for me, and one thing I advise a lot of people to do, is like, you know how during the summer companies do like summer programs. I'll really say like take huge advantage of that, because I feel like the whole recruiting system for like tech is really getting so tight that even when you apply like off website, it's like, oh, maybe you don't get in, or maybe they don't even like get back to you. But like most of the opportunities that I got over like for like interviews were basically like summer programs that I attended during the summer, or like a webinar. They used to just like basically like talk to people. And I feel like it's basically like a key that everyone should know. Like you might be like, oh, it might be hard like balancing like having like a summer program with a different company and balancing it like with your internship, because it was definitely like hard for me because at the same time when I was doing this Bloomberg program, I was also doing my meta internship as well. So it was kind of like hard like managing everything, because for Bloomberg it was kind of like a mentorship thing. I had to do like algo expert questions every single day, but at the same time there were like a lot of pros to it, because immediately after you end your internship, trust me, you're going to have to go into the whole recruitment process. And so there's really no break. So basically doing all those summer programs helps to like basically make it easier for you, because from there you don't even have to do like an online assessment. You just go straight to interview because it's like a straightway process. So yeah.
Okay, I love that. Like basically don't cold apply, like have a way in, have your name in their system already, whether it's through a program, attending, their info sessions and all that good stuff. Nice. Do you guys want to add anything else?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that as well. And kind of, so freshman year, I did the cold apply stuff because being first gen, I didn't know how to navigate. Like, I didn't even know what recruiting season was. So I was
Right.
just going with the flow. So this time around, I was looking for like going to conferences and like going to summits, like for the Wells Fargo one I did. And it really did help me because they put a face to my application instead of just being a number. So that really helps as well. And yeah, I was just looking for more instead of just applying to 100 jobs. I was looking for summits, like things so I can get flown out to go meet people, like on-site interviews and things like that. And I would like definitely advocate for that too.
Yeah, I know it can be hard, y'all, but there's so much power in meeting people in person, like attending conferences, getting flown out, all that good stuff, because it really just it makes the like whole process that much easier.
Yeah. That's I know this job market is crazy. That's why I took that return offer immediately.
That's
I didn't
real.
do
Yeah.
it. I didn't even want to do the whole thing because I remember last year I was going through it. I definitely say like this recruitment season is getting earlier and earlier every year. So
Mhm.
I actually started interviewing with Google for summer 2024 in May of 2023. So it was just like
Sheesh.
so like and how that happened was I was actually interviewing with Google Step back when I was a sophomore, and I got rejected. And I was like, well, that's that. And then over the summer, around May, someone hit me up, a recruiter hit me up, and was like, hey, if you want to start the interview process for 2024 summer, we can start now. I was like, sure, why not? So that just goes to tell you, like, even if you get rejected from a past offer or whatever, just stay in contact with those recruiters because you never know, they can spin the block around. They know your name now. So yeah, that'd be my advice.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. May 23 for summer 24 is crazy. Like, wow. But that's real advice. So thank you for sharing. All right. I'm gonna get into a couple more questions, then we'll get to audience Q&A. So audience, if y'all have questions, feel free to add it to the Q&A tab. We'll get to those. But another question I have is like, you kind of alluded to this, Raheek. Like the interview process can be super draining, and I remember that struggle, y'all. Like, so see, well, I'm not a software engineer today. Like, I had to be like, whew, let me take a step back. But that whole process can be really like draining. How do y'all keep faith in yourself, and like even if you like face rejections and everything, and just like prevent burnout?
For me, I think I would say my first step would be surrounding yourself with the right people, because I feel like so far every single rejection, one way I've had to like overcome it is with my friends. Like having the right people around you who would help you like pick yourself up every single step of the way is really amazing, because you might think that, oh, like I feel like when you get a rejection, you don't even react to it immediately. Like it takes a while, maybe when you're about to go to bed and you start thinking about like everything that happened that day. But like having the right people around you who are also chasing the same goals with you, who are working who are there with you to tell you that, okay, this rejection isn't final and you're amazing, you just have to like keep on working hard. Like for me, that's one thing that has really helped me to basically overcome rejection, because I know that there are people out there who are rooting for me, who are my fans. Just having even though it's just like two of my friends or three of my friends, like it's just something that really, really motivates me to like keep on pushing, even though they're like rejections and setbacks.
Mhm. That is like definitely plus one to that. Surrounding yourself with the right people can really like make or break your career, honestly, or even your collegiate experience. So thank you for sharing. Do y'all want to add anything?
Yeah, definitely surrounding yourself with the right people is important. And I found for me, like changing my mindset really helped. So, like, I listen like podcasts. I like to go on walks. Like, whenever I feel myself getting too stressed or something, I'm like, let me just put this to the side. Let me go for a walk. Let me get some coffee. Like, just do something that makes me happy, just to find a balance. Cause like freshman year, I was really trying to, okay, I'll rest when I graduate and I'm making six figures up, but that's not gonna be enjoyable. So now I like to, do a couple hours of work, but then I don't know if I want to scroll on TikTok, if I want to go to the park, like go play with my cat or something. Like it's good to find the happiness in the little things for me.
Absolutely. And changing your mindset is like definitely key. I recently learned that like biologically speaking, we're like programmed to remember all the negative emotions because that's what like keeps us safe and protects us. So you have to be that much more intentional about like thinking positively and like speaking affirmations out into the world. So definitely take care of your mental health, y'all, and you got this. Rahik, did you want to share anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, just from a like logistical standpoint, if you are gonna
Mhm.
plan your interviews, plan them around your life. Like interviewing is not your life. Your life is your life. So, uh,
Hello.
personally, I was interviewing with Bloomberg during my final exams in university. Don't recommend, don't do that. So things like that. Also your recruiters, like they're people too, they get it, they most likely they were in college before, so just tell them like, hey, like I got this thing coming up, can I push my interview a week, or can I extend my deadline, or
Mhm.
things like that. Like they'll work with you, like you already got the interview, so clearly you did something right. Just schedule around it. And yeah, like they said, like don't worry about the rejections too much.
Right. I love what you said. Like, interviewing is not your life. Your life is your life. So, like, please don't make being a computer science your whole personality, y'all. It's really not worth it. Like, no one cares about all the technical interviews and everything. Like, I mean, you should care, but like, you have hobbies, you have friends. Like, there's other things that matter. So, make memories and like live a little. Okay. All right, now we're on to my last question before we get to audience Q&A. I have to ask, like, looking back, you already have your offer, you're kind of like done with recruitment season. But looking back, if you could like change anything about the whole like internship search process and like recruitment things, like, would you change anything that you did?
I don't think I would, like looking back now, because when I
Mhm.
compare this past recruitment season to the last one, my freshman year, I definitely did improve a lot. And like the outcome was definitely better because I got an internship offer. So yeah, I would do the same thing. Look
Okay,
to,
good. We love
yeah,
growth. No, there's no shame in that. Okay, so what do you think? Like, what's one thing that you feel like you really like changed from like your freshman internship search to like now? Like, what do you feel like really elevated you?
like look using my resources. Like I don't know if every school has handshake, but I'm assuming they do. But I would
Mhm.
just, because they would like mass send emails and mass send things. I was like, this kind of, I don't need to worry about that. I could just look. I'll apply for like the FANG companies, and if I don't get one, then whatever. But it's important to look at all your options, because not all of, like, the FANGs are good, but there's also other good companies you can work at. Like it's good
Mhm.
to aim high, but look at your other options. So I definitely saw that instead of trying to go for like the big tech companies, I was looking more on things that I wouldn't usually look for. And that really helped me too, because it gave me several offers. So yeah.
Right. Love that. Do you guys want to share anything?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like Fang, it's like the big names to get the clout, but at the same time, like sometimes it's really not worth it. I would look into companies that a would have like a good retention rate between internships and full time. or just like, if you're interning, you're clearly like you want to try things out, especially if you're a sophomore or a freshman. So I would apply to those smaller companies or companies that are closer to home. I would also say, like, as a freshman, I remember it was really hard for me to grasp like data structure and algorithms just because I never took the course before. So if you're in that position that you never took the course before but you're still applying, I'd say maybe take a minute and just do anything external. You could take the course on Algo Expert or any other thing that CoStack provides for you, just to kind of give yourself a little time and give yourself some ahead of the game a little bit. It's really hard as a freshman itself. So not having that foundation of data structure and algorithms, I'd say, was what set me back my freshman year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just have a few minutes left, so I'm gonna go ahead and share some of the questions that our audience is asking. The first one being, how did you overcome rejections? And any of y'all can feel free to answer that.
I'll say definitely for rejections. For me, when I get a rejection, I feel like it just depends. Like if it let's say it's something that I really wanted to get into, I'll probably like cry because I feel like crying helps sometimes. Like it just helps to like ease the pain rather than having to like think about it and like sit in like the whole aspect of, oh, I got rejected. And then just remember that like that rejection isn't final. Like there's something my friends always say that because I got rejected doesn't mean that I'm not good enough. Like that's the company's loss basically. But then at the same time, even when you're trying to pick yourself up, think back and try to like reflect on, okay, what do I think I should have done better? Like at what point during the interview do I think that, oh, I maybe made a few mistakes here, and basically think of how you're going to work on that and work towards like your next interview, because you're going to have multiple interviews. That interview isn't going to be your last interview. So learning from that rejection and seeing how you can make yourself better and also like do amazing in your next interview will basically be what would help you to like get over like a rejection, because I mean you're still going to get an offer definitely.
Absolutely. And I think again, I forgot which one of y'all said this, but it's about like, no, it was you, Latanya, like changing your mindset. Like someone in the audience said, like a rejection, it just means you're one step closer to like your acceptance. So yeah, definitely keep the faith, y'all. Okay, let me ask this question. What kind of projects did you have on your resume before getting your first internship?
I had just what I did in my courses. So I had to do a project for one of my computer science classes, and it was just like a workout generator, purely terminal based, 100% Python. It just basically takes users' info and spits out their workout routine. So I just had that, and that's really it. I only had that one, but I talked more about, like, before I got my first internship, I talked more about what I want to learn and what I'm doing on the side, like trying to learn on my own and not in classes, just to make up for my lack of projects or lack of experience.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people forget that like these interviewers are looking at you holistically. So like, yes, it's about the projects you have on your resume, but they also want to see that you're like inquisitive and you're curious and like you want to learn other things. So I feel like as long as you're able to speak to that, like that's definitely a plus. Emanuela or Rahik, did you guys have any projects that you wanted to talk about?
I'd say project wise, I feel like as a freshman, like whatever, because I mean, I just started my sophomore year, so I just actually just finished my freshman year. So I'd
Oh
say
wow.
as a freshman, I had like a bit of web dev and like a Python project as well on my resume. But I'd say for starters, like just visualize like what you want the company to see. I feel like when it comes to projects, it's more of you like expressing like your ideas and how you can think in form of like a project, and you want like the company to basically see what you were able to do. And I feel like also like thinking about like what kind of role like you're applying to. For example, if let's say you're applying to like Meta University, maybe have like a bit of a web dev project or mobile project or an Android project. And because I know like most freshman internships are basically like full stack related. It's not basically too much data structures, but having that on there will also be like a huge plus as well.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. I love like hearing your perspective, like as someone who's like finishing up their freshman year. All right. Next question. Do y'all have any advice on managing your work life balance?
Yeah, I was waiting for this question.
No,
But
I know you were.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you guys saw my intro. Like, clearly, CS is not it's not my main part of my life. Like, I have other things, and the other things that I do are also not even related to CS sometimes. Um, as far as managing, oh man, I just know when to relax. I think, and everything else that I do, I truly enjoy it. Like managing the track team or being with Nesby, I feel like that's supposed to make it easier for me. Or nothing's supposed to be a burden. Um, and just taking care of myself, like going to sleep early, they're waking up early. Like you realize that some people feel like there's not that many hours in a day, but you could make yourself some time in a day, going to the gym, things like that. So that's how I do it. I'm not sure if you guys anything to say.
Um, I think I completely agree with you. I feel like one thing that would really help is honestly look for something else except work and school that you can probably do to keep yourself occupied. Because just as Rahik said, like you're not going to be a computer science student for the rest of your life, and your whole life doesn't also like revolve around your career. For me, one thing that really helps is I love creating content. I actually have a TikTok account, and as she said, I also love to dance, so I dance a lot on my TikTok. So that's one thing that really helps me to like balance everything out. So even when I'm stressed, I like to dance and just basically like release all the stress in me. I love to listen to Afrobeat and just like create random TikTok content. So I feel like just looking for something that is not going to stress you, but basically help you like relax, or something that you enjoy doing would really help you to see how to manage your work and life balance. Because I feel like during my internship, I really never knew what work life balance meant until when I started my internship. Like, I feel like you might feel like, oh, you want to like do so hard, you want to impress your manager or something like that. But you also have to remember that you're not a robot, you're human, and you also need to rest, because towards the end, your mental health is going to like crash. And also, you also have to take care of your physical body too, as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, there really is so much more to life, y'all, than just school and work. So definitely keep that in mind, especially like when you're on campus. Join a club, like have hobbies, do something that interests you, because also that stuff looks good on your resume too. Like people want to know that you're a well-rounded individual, and like recruiters, like they like to hire people that they would want to work with or like talk to and stuff. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. One thing I did in the beginning, because even in August, it started getting a little overwhelming for me. I got a cat. So I don't know. She just keeps me to a routine because, I can't forget to feed her. I got to feed her every day, play with her. So
Right.
it's just like when I'm stressed, I just go play with her. So it's like,
Oh
love.
my God, I love that. I have a cat too, so I get it. They're like balls of happiness and pureness. So love that. All right. One last question before we end. Let's see, let's pick a good one. Uh okay, let's do this one. Oh, can will it show? Okay, I will just like save this one. Oh no, here we go. What are some ways that like y'all develop a support system essentially, like especially during this process?
Okay, so I can go first. I feel like one thing that really helps me was having like an accountability partner and slash like a mentor. So I feel like when you're going into like a tech career, or like your freshman year, your CS major, you're just trying to like start things off, you're probably going to receive like in my freshman year, trust me, I received more than 20 rejections. I'm not even kidding. So I feel like having someone there for you, like a mentor, like I have a mentor who I tell like every single thing I'm doing, like at every single point in time. If I have an interview, I go to that person and say, okay, I have this interview coming up. After the interview, he's first person I will call and say, okay, this is how the interview went. And if I have any doubts, you basically be there to tell me that, okay, I know you have doubts, but let's think on the positive side. And even when like the outcome comes out, like just having someone there that basically knows every huge step you take in your career, and like being there for you to basically advise you and support you even when you feel like, oh, you just want to give up. It really really helps, because I feel like having that one person is really good than having so many people, because sometimes having so many people there, they might not be able to all be there for you when you need them, but having that one person where you always like that person is your go-to just really helps, like as a support system basically, because that's really what helped me.
I love that. Yeah. Having like good people around you, but also a mentor can really be key to like your success. Did you guys want to add anything else?
Yeah, so I definitely agree with that. I'm fortunate enough to like be able to FaceTime my family or friends, like just with any wins or any losses. So, because I feel like if I win or lose, I don't want to just like I want to tell someone. Like me, I just like to vent. So, just having being able to do that is definitely something good. So yeah, just plus
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
Period.
yeah. I'd say, I mean, I definitely wish I had a mentor. I didn't, but I'd say I know a lot of us are like first generation college students. I'm as well, and our parents don't know anything. They don't know, like they don't. Our parents don't get it. Our siblings don't get it. So it's really hard. It makes it really hard to talk to them. Like even when I was trying to explain to them, oh, I got an offer. Like this is a good thing. They just it wasn't clicking for them. But I'd say when I got to university, a lot of my friends here were CS or STEM related. Like they understood the struggle, so it felt good to have somebody, at least understand that, oh, this is a big step, this is a small step, or okay, this is, I see why they're sad about this, or things like that. Because some brothers, like some people just can't grasp it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say just your friends could also be a good support system as well.
That's definitely a fact. Loved all y'all answers, but as community manager, I just have to say the ColorStack community is here for y'all too. You can find support in the Slack channels as well. Like you're never alone. And I think as community manager, that's something I just always want to emphasize to you guys, that like there are 7,000 people in Slack who get it at the end of the day, right? Whether you're first gen, whether you're an international student, whether English is your second language, like there's at least one other person in the Slack who understands like how you're feeling. So definitely lean on the Slack community, as the ColorStack community as well. And with that being said, it has been so real, y'all. Thank you to our panelists for being here, for sharing some of your wisdom and experiences with us. I'm sure everyone is happy to connect on LinkedIn, and definitely look out on Monday's announcement. I'll be sharing their LinkedIns, any socials they want to share, and everything. So, yeah, thank you guys for being here.
Yes, thank you so much. Let's give a shout out to everyone that was on this Color Stack student panel, in the emojis as well in the chat. I hope you're feeling all this love. Thank you so much for spending time with us and telling us more about your experience. With that being said, we are going to transition into 15 minutes for roundtable and networking. And then up next, we are going to be with CMT talking about how to break into tech. So I'll see you at 3:45.